Still got the leak, but I have a new theory and got some maintenance done and shower and dump my toilet box and all that while doing a 34 here in Oak Grove, Missouri, all on this episode of
The Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and furry studio audience. That is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Alright, still parked here at the Petro in Oak Grove, Missouri. It is Sunday the 17th of April. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, still here. I got some stuff done while I'm here. I'm doing a 34 reset, which will be up at 11:45 tonight. So early tomorrow morning, I'm sure Bo's going to call me and have some sort of a good load, we hope, for me. He always calls me up, hello, I got a load for you. I always ask him about it. Anyway, but got some work done while I was here. I've been running my ass off because the last long video I did was Wednesday, where I was parked in Big Spring, Nebraska. And that's after I picked up that load in Ogden, Utah. A load of, what was it, sinks, going down to Olive Branch, Mississippi, which is essentially the Memphis, Tennessee area. So I had a delivery for Friday morning, and I told them when I picked up that load, look, Friday morning's not realistic. I was picking it up Wednesday afternoon, for crying out loud. I said, I can't do 1,700 miles in, less than 2 days. But I still got down there at 1:30 on Friday, because they had shut down I-80 in Wyoming. They reopened it. I went ahead and got rolling, made it to Big Springs, and then over the next day and a half made it all the way down to deliver. And then Bo found me another load, but it didn't pick up until 11:30 that night in Memphis. It was a load going up to Kansas City, picking up at an Associated Grocers warehouse, going to Associated Grocers distribution center in Kansas City. I'd been there once before, but only during the week when that place is hopping. And I knew I was there a long time. I wasn't too wild about having that one, but they apparently normally don't take outside trucks on Saturday and Sunday. But this was obviously one that really had to be there because I picked it up that Friday night, and delivered Saturday morning. They didn't get me out of there till 2 a.m. and so I had just enough time to do the run and got up there, and I still made it early. I was still there at 10:45. And I was after stopping for 45 minutes to try to air up all my tires, and I'll get into that here in a minute. But they actually got me unloaded within a couple hours, a little over a couple hours, and then came over here and got parked. When I was doing my pre-trip Friday before I rolled over to the place in Memphis to pick up, I always go around and thump all my tires. And on my trailer, I heard thump, thunk, so I knew one of them was pretty low. And I went around the other side, I heard thunk, thunk, just a little bit lower. And one of my drive tires was a little low. So I was going to go to a Love's on the way and do that tire pass thing where they can connect it to all the wheels, all the tires, and air them up where you want them to. Well, I called ahead, and apparently Love's their tire pass all over the country is down because they're fixing the software. So I said, okay, do you at least have, air available on the fuel islands? Oh, they said, oh yeah, 19, 21, and 23. So I get up, I think it's in Blytheville is where I went. No, maybe I was in Missouri at this point. And you know how long it takes to check and air up 18 tires? Yeah, it took 45 minutes, and that's actually doing it pretty quick. But I couldn't get the valve cap off of one of my drive tires that was inside. It's the inside one, and there's little tiny holes in there. I couldn't get my hands in there. And I knew that one was low, so I was able to check it. It was down to about 80. It needs to be at 100 pounds of pressure. I was able to fill up the one really low one on the trailer. That was the one I was most concerned about. Go around to the other side of the trailer. The inside one on the rear axle on that side was a little low. It wasn't really low. It was about at 80. But I couldn't get to the valve stem. I love Sat Brothers in Cheyenne. They do all my work on my truck, or most of it. If I'm out on the road somewhere else, obviously, sometimes I have to get other things done. But the night guy who had finished replacing the drums and shoes on the trailer put the one trailer wheel on the outside on the rear axle on the passenger side back on, so I couldn't access the valve stem on the inside tire. So really? Like I say, I'd thump them every day, so I hadn't had to air it up yet until now, and of course now I can't access it. So today I had to pay the Petro here to take the tire off and rotate it so they could put the wheel back on so I could access the inside valve stem. They at least aired it up to 100, and I couldn't get the valve cap off of the inside drive tire. They used their little tool, which I tried to find at a Love's or here at the Petro for sale. It's basically a stick with a little rubber thing on the end that you can shove it on there and get that valve stem off. So he got that off for me. I went around the shop after they were done and loaded that and filled that back up. And also while I was driving Friday night, I noticed my trailer light on the left side was blinking off when I turned on the right turn signal, and I shouldn't be doing that. Well, after I got to the place Friday morning or Saturday morning to deliver, I inspected it, and the wire that was from the light was going over my trailer skirt and had gotten chafed and had broken the wire. So I knew I needed to get that fixed. Normally that's the kind of repair I'll do on my own, except today it was raining and I really didn't feel like doing that. So I was willing to pay them to do it. They got that fixed real quick. They got the tire remounted real quick. They got the valve stem off for me. So now all my tires are where they should be. My light has now worked. And here's what I always say: if I have to do a 34 while out on the road and I can't be home or someplace fun like Vegas or something, then I'm going to take the time to get some crap done on the truck. And so that's exactly what I did today. And it was only $99 for all that to get done, which isn't bad at a Petro or TA, that's for sure. So can't complain, and took advantage of my time. Also grabbed a shower. As you can see, the shirt has changed. This is a t-shirt I bought at the Pilot, of all places, in Oak Grove, Kentucky, not to be confused with Oak Grove, Missouri, where I am now. They had this rack of them, and for 3 t-shirts for like, well, I don't know, they were on sale for like $8. You can get 2 packs of them, 2 packs of 3 for like apparently like $13. Well, when I went to go check out, it was even cheaper. It's $10 for 6 t-shirts. I figured, well, this will be great. These will be things I can wear if I just want a t-shirt instead of my regular shirts, or if I need to climb under the truck and get all greasy and all that kind of stuff. Let's kill a cheap shirt and not an expensive one. What do you think? So got all that done, grabbed a shower here at the Petro. I had some shower credits. Yes, took my cassette toilet tank up with me because it rolls along. Emptied that out, so now that's all emptied and ready to go again. I tell you, drivers, that cassette toilet has been a game changer. And I was just telling my wife earlier when I was talking to her, I'm saying, why aren't toilets standard in these trucks, by the way, in the first place? And 2, drivers, even if you're a company driver, go get one of those little Thetford camping toilets. It's essentially the same thing as my cassette toilet, except, you got to take the top off, and the bottom part, which is the black holding tank, you just take that with you outside and dump it, or you take it to an outhouse or into the bathroom and dump it. It'll improve your life beyond belief. Get one of those. $150 or so at Cabela's. You can get a truck in there, do it. It'll change your life, I'm telling you. Okay, now I got some road video to show you. As I was heading down to Memphis area, to Olive Branch, Mississippi, to deliver that load that I had of sinks, there's this container truck in front of me, almost flips over. He wasn't paying attention, obviously. Starts to veer into the left lane, pulls real hard back to the right, and you see that container leaning and almost going over. All right, watch carefully. Here he goes, not paying attention, almost goes over. And now the zoom and slow-mo. All right, he's obviously not paying attention. A pickup in the lane to him to the left, and look, he starts sliding over and realizes at the last second, I'm about to crash. And look at that thing leaning. The right tires came up off the ground on the back of that container. Yeesh. Moron. After I went by him, I looked over and I'm like, hey, idiot, looking at him, and he just kind of looks at back at me, oh, hello, I'm a moron. Then I'm driving west of St. Louis on my way up Saturday morning to deliver in Kansas City. And I've always said, especially, I told my wife this all the time, we seem to have this magic switch in our trucks that if there's a car behind us in the left lane and we want to make sure they speed up and go right by us, all we have to do is turn on our turn signal to the left. Now there's 2 cops, got somebody pulled over up on the right shoulder in front of me. I turn the signal on, I'm trying to get over, the car on the left lane starts speeding up. I had to basically cut them off because I'm trying to get out of the cop's way and do the right thing legally. moron. Alright, there's the cop with the car pulled over. There was another cop right in front of him that had just pulled out back into traffic. You can see right there with the arrow. And so I'm coming up, and I'm still in the left lane because he's still accelerating. But then he decides to do that cop thing that just annoys the crap out of me. He's going to go 68 miles an hour. The speed limit's 70. And he's going to see who's going to attempt to try to pass him. And that's a little game cops play. They try to see who they can intimidate to pass them. Well, I'm not going to go more than 70, but I'm coming up on him. He's about 68 right now, and now here I am, hung out in the left lane. All the cars behind me think I'm being a jerk off, and I'm not moving back to the right. Well, I'm trying not to speed, and so I keep going, and there's a car coming up on the right side now who didn't want to wait. He was impatient. This is the same one, by the way, who wouldn't let me over when the cops were on the shoulder. So that car eventually takes the next exit, and I'm going 70 miles an hour right here in the left lane. I'm not going to speed, but I have no problem passing a cop if they're going to go slower than the speed limit. So, car comes up behind, he takes the next exit. So I'm going to stay at the speed limit, but I can't move over legally to the right now because I'd be too close to the car in the right lane. So again, here I am, stuck in the left lane. All the traffic behind me thinks I'm just being a jerk truck driver. And no, it's really all thanks to Mr. Cop right there. Thank you, Mr. Cop. Now this car is going to take that exit right there. And the cop is now going about my speed, about 70 miles an hour, which is the speed limit. So I'm going to move back over to the right lane behind the cop. And then the cop starts doing that slowing down thing again. But now I'm not going to move back to the left lane after I've moved to the right. And now the cop is doing that thing where they do this with trucks all the time. It's another game they play. They now realize they're blind for traffic coming up behind them because of me. And so they drive right in front of a big truck, right at the speed limit or a little bit slower, to see who's going to go flying by them so they can maybe go catch that guy. And really annoys me when cops use us like this to play that little game to catch other speeders, but they do it all the time. Now, coming up here in the right lane, or off the shoulder, there is a car that's pulled off on the shoulder, fixing the straps on a bicycle rack or something on the top. And finally, the cop is going to see that, and he's going to pull over and check to see what that car is doing. There goes a pickup, not afraid to pass. Now I'm moving over into the left lane because the cop is now slowing down. And up here on the right, you'll see there's a car messing with their bike rack on top of their car. And so the cop's going to pull over and give this guy some problems. Even though I kind of agree with this because it happens all summer long when morons pull over on the shoulder to get Susie's doll out of the back seat or something, which is so dangerous. Because if you pull over on the shoulder, you got a real good chance of somebody not paying attention, screwing around with their phone, and crashing into you while you're on the shoulder. All right, here they are. They're pulling, the cop's slowing down because here's the car up there messing with their bike rack, and the cop's going to go hassle that guy. All right, now on to the other subject of the leak. Yes, that thunderstorm down in Memphis when I was getting loaded allowed some water in. Not a lot. I have a little plastic box up there that I was able to catch some of it in. And it rained most of the morning here in Oak Grove, Missouri, here at the Petro, but really no water came in. I think the rain wasn't heavy enough. I'm actually convinced at this point that the repair that Justin and I made with the Gorilla, waterproof Gorilla tape probably worked. What I think is what I'm dealing with now is when we were initially drilling, screwing down the diamond plate on the top of the box, we missed the beams underneath a few times. And I tried to make sure I put caulk over those holes initially so they would be filled in. Well, I think either there's one or two holes that I missed, or I had caulked them and sealed them up. But then when Justin got back on top of the box a week ago, as we were trying to put now the Gorilla Tape up, you know, he's up there, sitting up there, he's moving his shoe around up there. He might have knocked those little caulk seals off of those holes that we had created before. So I think maybe that's where some of the water is coming in. I know it's still coming in from the top. It's not coming in from the sides or anywhere else. So that could be possibly the problem. Also, the other problem could be the screws I used to put the diamond plate down on the top were pole barn roofing screws. They have a little rubber gasket underneath them, so that should seal it up. Possibly, maybe on a driving rainstorm like that thunderstorm I was in, still water was able to get underneath, or that diamond plate, maybe the screw was in a place where that diamond plate has, you know, different levels. It's not flush. Maybe water is getting in there, and I need to re-goop around all those screws, and like I say, look for any holes, or maybe where I had caulked before, it's fallen out. Because it's very, very little water that came in after that huge thunderstorm. So I really think the repair we made is probably good. But now the problem is, again, I don't have a ladder that high with me to get back up there while I'm out here on the road. Maybe I can get to a Love's or a Petro or something and borrow that giant step ladder thing they have, pay them some money, whatever I got to do to try to get up there and do it. I've got extra caulk with me, and that might just solve the problem. The leak is very, very, very small at this point, and so I'm pretty convinced that's actually what's going on. After I checked in for service today here at the Petro in Oak Grove, Missouri, there was a guy inside. Oh, and by the way, that woman who checked me in, boy, was she a cranky puss. I had checked in on the app, then I rolled over there and checked in inside, and she just says, "Company." I'm like, okay, well, I'm not a company, I'm a driver. Well, what's the company name? Well, I own the truck and trailer, so you need to put my name on the ticket. Well, it just says here on the app, it says Truck Smart app. I'm like, well, okay, that's automatic. That's apparently what it automatically fills in with, but put my name. So I gave her my name. She was just, you know, being abusive and aggressive for no reason. And then I said, okay, do you need the miles? Okay, fine. What's the mileage? 818-555. Okay, well, you know, it's going to be like, you know, 4 o'clock. It's now 3 p.m. I'm like, fine. Don't have a problem with that. Okay, well, just go back to your truck and we'll call you. Then I didn't get to say it today, but what I usually say to people like that in that situation is, aren't you a treat? But there was another guy who was waiting while his truck was getting work done, and he said, so tell me about that Freightliner there. And so I said, well, I've remodeled the whole thing. So I gave him the whole tour and everything. It is getting a lot of looks and everything. Once I brought it into the bay, and the guy who was working on my truck and trailer did all that, and I asked him about taking off the valve stem thing. He said, well, so what's that big box up there on the back of your truck? Is that for storage? Oh, no. There's a giant bed up there. I put a full-size bed up there. So I gutted out the whole thing and remodeled it. You want to see it? And he's like, oh, yeah. And so far, everybody I've shown it to on the roads, you know, he kind of climbed up and looked in a little bit. He didn't want to come all the way in because his boots are greasy and stuff. And so we at least got to lean over the seat and look what's under the countertop there, pointing to the toilet. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, I get why you remodeled the truck. That's totally a game changer. I said, yes, it is. Toilet in the truck, baby. It's a beautiful thing. Well, thanks for tuning in for that. Yeah, just a few updates, let you know what's going on. And now we've got a 34 reset, so we'll be good to go for tomorrow when Bo calls us up and tells us where we're going next. Follow the money. That's what I always tell him. He always asks, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? And I say, yeah, follow the money, Bo. Follow the money. And I know that's a terrible Turkish impression, but he's a Turkish guy, so, you know. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like and comment. Don't forget about ringing the bell for notifications, you know, when the new videos come out. There's Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter. I'll try to update something on that soon. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Did you ever reach a point in your life where you realize, this is the best I'm ever going to look, this is the best I'm ever going to do, this is the best I'm ever going to feel, and it ain't that great? He's on that strip. There it goes. Up on the Clutch Trucker couch. Oh yeah, yumma, yumma, yumma. Eating that thing up, baby. All right, yeah, that was a quick one. It was not a very big one. Here's a little small piece for you. Oh yeah. Just because you're such a good dog. Alrighty. There you go.